Um, as I just said, I was born in Aksu Prefecture, and I finished my elementary, middle, high school in Aksu, and went to college in Urumqi, which is the capital of East Turkestan. Electrical engineering major. I studied 5 years and learned 3 languages: Chinese, English, and Japanese. I became a university teacher, went to Japan first. After that, I came to US in 1988, and I have been living in the United States since then. I still have 3 siblings back home, and I never made a single phone call to them since January of 2017 because I was at the top position of the Chinese blacklist. And anybody who contacts me or I contact, they will be taken away to concentration camps or jail. And I haven't talked to them since 2017. I didn't visit our homeland since 2009. I visited 3 times in 2006, 7, and 2009, and I met with more than 1,000 college students. And meeting with me or contacting with me became a crime after 2017. So all the college students are gone. They disappeared. That's why I am doing what I'm doing now. I was not political originally. I was very academic, trying to help young people about personal development, goal setting, those kind of things. But our current situation forced me to do that. This is one picture from 2009 with college students. In this picture, you see 2 people. The red shirt is my middle school, high school Uyghur literature teacher. He was arrested in 2018 and died in a concentration camp at the age of 78. He was a teacher before. Later, he became the principal of the middle high school, but he died. The other person, the white shirt, Abbas Moniaz, he's the middle school teacher. Initially, later became professional writer, wrote more than 20 books. He was arrested in 2017 and sentenced to 17 years prison. This person, Mutalib Nur Mehmet, on my other side, he came to US to study. He studied 5 years, got 2 master degrees, and they went back. But he was arrested in 2018, stayed in a concentration camp for about 9 months. After that, he was released, but died 8 days later in a hospital. The reason is internal bleeding. And I had another person, I couldn't get a picture of it, but his name is Erkin Sidiq. He was one electrical vocational school teacher in Urumqi. He was taken with a group of people to Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand in 2015 for a trip. When he came back, he was arrested at Beijing airport. The reason is because his name is Erkin Sidiq, same as me. That means the airport keeping my name or picture in the airport, in the custom, and he was arrested. The lead of the team was a Chinese, the university principal, or the school principal. He did the explanation, saying it's not Erkin Sidiq in the US, in NASA. This is different. This is my teacher. He's a good guy. But they said, it's none of your business. And they tortured him 3 days, integrated him, and he released him back to Urumqi. But he died 1 week later. I can go on and go on like this. Every year I travel around the world. The only thing I hear is the mourning of the people. Every family lost many people. That's the situation. And I want to make 2 points very quickly. The first one is Uyghur people abroad, trust me. So whoever gets some very important information about the situation back home, they send it to me. So I'm kind of center of information. I live like that every week with the new information about what's going on. And also from the East Turkestan, the party's central government in East Turkestan, also the central government official of the Chinese central government as well. So I have got a lot of information. I want to tell you some numbers very quickly to show you the sheer size of the genocide, what's going on in East Turkestan. Since 2014, about 1.8 million people, Uyghurs, transferred from concentration camp to prisons. 1.8 million. 2.1 million Uyghurs were transferred from concentration camps to other parts of China. They were used for bioweapon experiments, for the organ harvesting, and also murdered. There are some reports by Winter, you can look it up, and it is basically Chinese government took those people not to keep them alive, 2.1 million people, to let them die as soon as possible. I called it as a distributed mass murder. In the past, when people did the mass murdering, they dig a ditch and bury them, so people could find out later on. But China is very smart. Chinese are very smart. They just do distributed way at night, and nobody can find out. But we are losing very large number of people. And since 2014, about 1 million Uyghurs were murdered or died because of the hardship and the torture, mental and the physical hardship or torture. We have another about 4 million people right now in concentration camps and forced labor factories. The Uyghur Projects Foundation, we hired some people to get information about the forced labor factories in East Turkestan. We got a detailed information when the factory was built, how many employees, kind of. The list includes 14,000 factories in East Turkestan alone. Imagine if each factory uses 100 Uyghurs as forced labor workers, we are talking about 1.4 million. In reality, all of those factories are much bigger than that. So we have a huge number of people in forced labor factories right now. And those people, the male, female separated, and they cannot go home at night, work 12 hours a day. So it's like a prison as well. If we add these numbers up, it's about 9 million. I got this 9 million figure from a top official in a police department in Urumqi, Xinjiang Police Department, since 2014. So the Western media still uses more than 1 million. That's not true. I brought up the more than 1 million in November of 2017. I met a person who came from Urumqi to the United States. I met with him personally. He gave me some information about a secret meeting. The government announcing that year, in 2017, in 1 year, the government arrested more than 800,000 Uyghurs. I gave this information to Human Rights Watch, and they published an article in January of 2018. See, the 1 million, this figure came out in the media in January 2018. The size of the concentration camp doubled, tripled after that, and people still say more than 1 million. Now, there's one question. How come so many people can be arrested? The Chinese government only has been saying, like 2 weeks ago, the foreign minister spokesman said there were 11.6 million Uyghurs in Xinjiang in 2021. But the real number is not like that. It's not 11 million. The Chinese government keeps the population number as a top secret. Even the population number of Han Chinese is not correct. They hide the number. My wife worked as a teacher at Xinjiang University in the computer center. Her major is computer science. In 1990, when the China conducted a census, the computer center participated in crunching the numbers. But at the last phase, all the non-Han staff were dismissed. They are not allowed to see the final number. This is how China operates. So the Uyghur population is about 20 million. There is a U.S. general, retired U.S. General Wilkerson. You can look it up in Google. In 2018, he said there are 20 million Uyghurs in Xinjiang. I trust this number. So the 20 million Uyghurs, know the Chinese government saying 11.6 million. So we are talking about more than 8 million people missing. So I just told you what happened to those people. The real situation is so sad. The loss that we got, the Uyghur people got, is more than the Holocaust right now. But the world does not know it. And so far, nobody went there and investigate. I hope I am wrong, but the real situation is so bad. Another situation is the living people, how they are living. You see, about 1 million kids were separated from parents. Just imagine you have a child, daughter or girl, 3 or 4 years old. Government took them. You can only see once a week or once a month, or if you are in the concentration camp, you can never see them again. How do you feel? Can you be a normal human being after that? Do you care if you're alive or dead? This is the situation that the whole Uyghur population in Turkestan is under right now. That's the situation. Let me briefly let me see how much time I have. Briefly mention to you why China is doing what it is doing to the Uyghur people. Many people talk about from the religious background. Of course, the faith was the #1 crime in China. So the first phase of the people arrested all are religious people who prayed 5 times a day. And the second phase are the people who have contacted me or meet with me. I am at the very top list. All the people who contacted me are gone. There was a university teacher at Xinjiang University. She wrote me an email asking for the PDF file of one book that I published. I sent her the book. She was arrested and sentenced to 15 years to prison. Just one email. How I learned that? Her brother is in Japan. I wanted to testify about her in Uyghur tribunal, but his brother rejected reason. Their son is in Chinese custody. They cannot get their son out if they speak out. That's the situation. Why China is doing what it is doing right now? The main is there are 5 reasons. The #1 reason is in 1990 Soviet Union collapsed. One of the main reasons is Soviet Union kept all the non-Russian people or minorities in their own land. They preserved the language, culture, religion, everything. So when the Soviet Union collapsed, all those republics became independent. China learned a lesson. This is their biggest fear since then, saying we cannot keep the minorities alone, separately. So China decided to have only one race. They call Zhonghua Minzu, Chinese race. Eliminate all the minorities. If you look at Chinese official documents, they always say there are 56 minorities in China. In reality, they are all gone, assimilated. Got rid of it. Right now, only the Uyghurs and the Tibets are left, and the China are after them as well. That's the #1 reason. #2, the One Road, One Belt initiative. There are 2 major land roads for this project. And one of them passes through East Turkestan. It starts from Xi'an, passes through East Turkestan, go to Central Asia and Turkey to Africa. 2 of them starts in East Turkestan. One starts from East Turkestan and go to Gwadar port in Pakistan. Another one starts from East Turkestan, go to Central Asia and Europe. So for this project to be successful, China needed a stable environment. And they always thought Uyghurs is a threat for this initiative. So what they did to the Uyghur people is a final solution for stability. This is the #2 reason. #3 reason that China always afraid that one day China may go to war with the US. If that happens, US can airdrop weapons in East Turkestan, weaponize the Uyghur people, and Uyghur people will fight with the US against China. There is a Chinese general called Xi. He's a professor at China National University. Also, he's a senior advisor to the Chinese central government. He did a survey from 2009 to 2011 in East Turkestan. And after he finished the survey, he gave a presentation at his university. There is a YouTube video of his speech, 2 hours long. At that speech, he says, the Chinese government has been saying the #1 threat is terrorism. It's bullshit. Actually, it's not like that. Actually, the #1 threat is the Uyghur population. In Kashgar and Khotan, 95% of the population are Uyghurs. If one day China fights with the US can arm easily 300 to 500,000 Uyghur men, and those men will fight alongside the US against China. I will this problem until to the end. I will not rest into solving this problem. So what you see right now is a solution to that problem. 70% of the males in Khotan and the Kashgar prefecture are gone. 70%. That's number 3 reason. Number 4, the China needs land and natural resources, but not human life, not humans. They have oversupply. Just look at right now what's going on in Xi'an, Tianjin, Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, with the Winter Olympic thing and with the quarantine, what's going on. For China, human life means nothing. They don't care. Uyghur population is 20 million. When China conducts census, the census area is more than 20 million. So 20 million population means nothing for them. Mao Zedong killed about 45 million people during the Cultural Revolution from 1965 to 1975. You can look it up. So the Uyghur people, this is number 4 reason. Number 5 is the opportunity. China rised up economically, and they bought out all the governments around the world, including the international institutions like United States. United States, I was told there are 15 or 16 committees, and the head of the 7 committees are Chinese, from China. So the UN is dysfunctional, does not work anymore. And the World Trade Organization, same thing. World Health Organization, same thing. So the China see an opportunity to do this openly, and that's what they are doing. So all the Uyghurs abroad now, we became crybaby. We lost so much. Like I have many hundred relatives. I don't know who is alive, who is not, and who is in concentration camps because I cannot contact them. This is the world we are living, and Uyghur people love social life, and we have a lot of performances on YouTube. I cannot watch that kind of YouTube anymore because I started to cry. Everything about Uyghurs are gone. Language, culture, custom, religion, you name it. Nothing. The February 1st is the Chinese Spring Festival. I am getting a lot of videos right now every day. Uyghur people dancing. Uyghur people are forced to dance Chinese, Han Chinese dance. You cannot see single Uyghur dance. All the Uyghur dance classes are eliminated, even from the art schools. So this is a situation. It's happening in the 21st century, and we have condemnation, criticism, and the US came up with several bills, but it's all not helping. The pressure, China does not care about the pressure. They didn't change their plan. They didn't slow down, but they are speeding up the pace. I got one piece of information which says Xi Jinping decided in 2014 to kill 1/3 of the Uyghurs, lock up 1/3 of the Uyghurs, and convert the remaining 1/3 into automatons, or people who are living in the Middle Ages. And that's what you see right now. The 1/3 of the Uyghur population is about 6 to 7 million. So at the end, you can expect only 6 to 7 million Uyghurs will live, but they will be converted to automatons. They only receive orders. They act based on the orders, not on their own. Human being like that. That's what we are heading. I don't know when the international community takes actions, but what they will find is horrible. Is worse than Holocaust, but this is 21st century, and it has been more than 70 years from World War II, and the world is still allowing this to happen, and even rewarding the China with the Winter Olympic. It's a stain of the century. It's the stain of the humanity. The China will not stop with Uyghurs. For China, all other races is foreign races, subhuman. Just look up China's history books. They call other races subhumans. Only the Han Chinese are the full human. This is how they looked at other races in the past. And still it's rooted deeply in their culture. And that's what we are facing today. and the world will face again. You can see that from the world, the One World, One Belt initiative, China should be stopped. Otherwise, we are expecting a world that's not recognizable by the current human being. Thank you very much.